Alright, so today we are going to start with domino logic. Okay, so basically this is your domino logic cascade block diagram. Okay, so here this portion, the one I'm dotting with, is your dynamic CMOS. Dynamic CMOS. This one is your static CMOS inverter. Okay, so basically what a cascade domino logic circuit gate is, a dynamic CMOS is connected with a static CMOS inverter, and then it is again connected with a dynamic CMOS inverter, then again cascade series inverter, and then it goes on like this. So the output of dynamic CMOS inverter dynamic CMOS logic gate is connected to the static inverter, and then the output of this static inverter is given as the input of dynamic logic gate, and this way it goes on. Okay, so here you can write it pointwise as I am giving you in the screen. So that goes your first point. The second point can be like, here during pre-charge phase the output of the dynamic CMOS stage is pre-charged to a high level. That is, this one is the output, right? It is pre-charged to a high level, and this one is pre-charged to a low level. These all pre-charging is done in your pre-charge phase as given in the screen. Okay, and this pre-charge to a low level. So generally what a dynamic CMOS does is, it converts or transits as many times as it wants. So like it can transit 0 to 1 as many times as it wants, and 1 to 0. It can do this. But when we provide a low level the output of this inverter, when you give it a low level charge during the phase change, what happens is the inverter is restricted to only the transition of 0 to 1. That is, this inverter is restricted to only give this, not this. Okay, 1 to 0 won't be given. That is low to high. Alright, 0 to 1 happens because we give it a low charge at pre-charge phase. Okay, now we are done with this. 1 is 0. This will again come later, don't you worry. Okay, so and 1 or 0 is totally not possible here. Now when the pre-phase occurs, that is when the pre-charge phase occurs, all the input transistor in subsequent blocks will be turned off during the pre-charge phase. As I said, in pre-charge phase all the transistors will be blocked. In normal dynamic CMOS all the transistors are open, right? But here all the subsequent block will be blocked, and the evaluation phase, that is evaluation phase, here the 0 to 1 transition will occur. Okay, and only 0 to 1. Here you can write in, during the evaluation phase each buffer output can make at most one transition, that is 0 to 1, and thus each input of all subsequent logic gates can also make at most one transition. That is, this is making one transition, or I can like 0 to 1. Alright, only one transition. As this output of inverter is making one transition, this input will also make one transition. It got no choice, right? It is making one transition, so this will also make one transition, only one transition. So as you can see, this one is affecting this one, right? This one is affecting this whole thing. Okay, so we can write that third, and this will be fourth one. We can write it like, in a cascade structure consisting of several such stages, like in the several stages, the evolution of each stage repels the next stage. Evolution of each stage repelling the next stage, or giving birth to the next stage, or right? It repels the next stage evaluation. Similarly to the domino falling one after another, like a domino falls one after another. If one falls, then the other one also falls. So this way this way also. This one indicates the working of this. So because of this, the structure is hence called domino cosmic logic. I think you should mention this, that similar to the domino falling one after another, because the name is domino, and in many books they have given this line, right? Because this is similar to domino falling one after another. So you can write this point it as like in a cascade structure construction of several such stage, the evaluation of each stage repels the next stage evaluation, similarly to a domino falling one after another. So because of this reason, the whole structure is called domino CMOS logic. So to summarize this is your block diagram. This is all messed up. You can go to the front of the video in like 10 seconds, and the starting of the 10 seconds, and then there you can screenshot this if you don't know already. Okay, and here this is your dynamic CMOS, this is your static CMOS inverter. This inverter, this output is given to this input, and this its output is given to this another dynamic CMOS, and this way it goes on, right? Here it is continued. Okay, this way it goes on. So in pre-phase, this is given a low phase charge, and this is given high charge. This is given high charge, and this is given low charge. So this is done to restrict this whole thing, because normally dynamic CMOS, what it does is 0 to 1 and 1 to 0, but we don't want 1 to 0, we only want 0 to 1. So to restrict this, we give it low charge. So now it is restricted, and this transition is called is done in your evaluation phase. In evaluation phase, this transition of 0 to 1 is done, not 1 to 0. This is not done. 0 to 1 is done. Remember to mention that 1 to 0 is not done, 0 to 1 is done. So because of this, 0 to 1 is done, and so because of this output, this input will be affected, and these will also get 0 to 1. So this one is kind of repelling the input of this dynamic CMOS. The next stage, the stage 1 is repelling the second stage. So therefore it is working like a a domino falling one after another. Therefore this is called a domino cosmic logic. Hope you guys understood something. Now if you guys did understood something, then thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, and yeah, share with your friends if they need it. All right, well then, thanks.